Good morning.
Good morning. I want to see Mr. Chang.
Mr. Chen? Oh, Eddie, do you know where Mr. Chen is?
Oh, he's in the conference room. Go straight and turn right.
Oh, thank you.
Eddie, please take a seat. This is your new colleague, Karen.
Hello.
Hi, Karen.
Here are 2 new cases involving lifting accidents. We need to look into them. Eddie, you go with Karen.
Sure.
Boss, I can go alone. I have handled similar investigation in my previous job. I think I can manage.
Eddie, what do you think?
That's fine. Just let her try as long as she's confident.
Good. You will each be responsible for 1 case. Give me a preliminary report tomorrow. Karen, your report is so lousy. It didn't mention anything about the lifting equipment and gears, nor any analysis of the causes of the accident. Please do it again, and hand it to me next Monday.
I've made a cup of coffee for you.
Thanks.
What's bothering you?
It's the report. The boss is not satisfied with it. He asked me to refer to some books on lifting safety. You see, there's so many of them. How can I go through all of them?
Don't worry, I'll help you. Generally, the lifting of objects occurs on construction sites, in factories, shipyards, container yards, and other industrial situations. Correct lifting can move heavy objects efficiently to our destinations and save on manual labor. Lifting appliances are indispensable in lifting operations. There are machineries installed with gears for lifting and lowering the load. There is a wide range of lifting appliances. Winches are usually used on construction sites and in factories for lifting heavy objects, such as construction material, machineries, and spare parts to higher positions. They are also widely used in the installation of elevators. Tower cranes are mainly used on large construction sites for lifting heavier construction material and equipment. Chicago booms are mainly used on small construction sites because they can save space. Gantry cranes are used in large factories and factories that make prefabricated parts, etc. Mobile cranes are also commonly used lifting appliances, categorizing by the boom they have, they're the hydraulic ones, and the lattice jib. As for driving gears, some use wheel-mounted crane, and the others, crawler-mounted crane. A truck-mounted crane has a hydraulic boom. Pulley blocks are smaller lifting appliances. Electrical or manual, they are mainly used in warehouses, on construction sites, and in small factories to lift smaller loads.
How about this one?
This is an excavator which is mainly used for excavation of mud or rock, but some workers use it for lifting, which is not encouraged and is not supposed to be used for lifting objects. If it is used for lifting, the manufacturer's and the supplier's manual and the relevant regulations and codes of practice must be followed.
How can we choose the right type of crane?
Firstly, we have to consider the weight and volume of the load. Secondly, the height, moving range, and the distance of the lifting operation. The frequency of lifts, time required, and ground conditions, etc. are also factors to be considered. Apart from lifting appliances, lifting gears also play an important part in the lifting operation. Their function is to tie the objects tightly and hang them securely on the crane. There's a great variety of lifting gears, including the wire rope slings, the cable clips for connecting wire rope slings, chain slings, shackles, hooks, spreaders, chain mesh slings, and fiber slings, etc. There are several kinds of accidents in lifting operations, such as overloading, the load not being securely tied, etc. These will cause accidents in the lifting process, resulting in damages to the load and sometimes casualties. If the crane is overloaded, the boom or the slings may not be able to bear the weight, which may then break and result in accidents. Incorrect operation may cause the crane to overturn. The common errors are failure to fully extend the outriggers of the crane for convenience sake, and when the soil is loose, failure to stabilize the crane on the ground. In such cases, the crane will lose balance and overturn during operation. During lifting operations, both the crane and the load are moving. If the lifting route and signals are not clear, they will result in collisions with people, obstacles, or overhead power lines. So you realize the importance of lifting safety now?
Yeah, I think I can understand. But how can I know what's wrong with the case I'm in charge of?
I'm going to the scene of the accident to collect information. Why don't you join me to check it out?
Alright, let's go.
A worker who witnessed the accident said, when the accident took place, he heard a big bang and saw loads falling on the ground. Fortunately, no one passed by and there were no casualties. Karen, where will you start with the investigation?
I'll check whether any workers had improperly used the lift.
That's right. But I have to examine the SWL of all the slings, shackles, and hooks. And I also have to examine the cargo to be lifted to see if they were overloaded.
SWL?
SWL stands for Safe Working Load. The legislation requires that lifting appliances and gears have to be tested by competent examiners and issued examination certificates stating the safe working load. This is also known as the SWL. Generally, SWL is marked on the lifting appliances and the lifting gears, so it is easy to know if they're overloaded during lifting. According to the information, the load didn't exceed the crane's SWL. It's reported that a broken wire rope sling was found at the scene. The weight of the load exceeded the SWL of the wire rope sling, causing it to break and led to the accident.
Now I got it. It's the wire rope sling that caused the accident.
Shall we move to the scene of the accident to find some new clues? According to your information, the load that was lifted did not exceed the safe working load. So we have to consider other possibilities.
How should we start our investigation?
That's where we can find the lead. You see, the two tower cranes are really close. When they operate at the same time, they may overlap.
Based on the information from the construction sites, they do have a safety system. Whenever a boom is close to the overlapping zone, the system shall be activated to stop the boom from moving forward. The boom can only move away from the overlapping zone. To prevent overlapping of the booms, the tower crane operator shall maintain good communication to avoid mistakes. So, the chance of making mistakes is relatively low.
Before a tower crane operator starts the tower crane, be it a tower crane with saddle jib or tower crane with articulated jib, he has to be aware of the safe working load and the radius of the boom operation. He should also refer to the safe load chart.
Have you found out anything?
Not yet. Why don't we consult an expert?
An expert?
Let's go. My father is a retired engineer, well experienced in lifting engineering on construction sites and in factories.
Hey, but I have now changed my occupation to a stevedore worker. I'd rather go grocery shopping and cooking.
It's good to enjoy a happy life.
I know you are here, not just to see me.
You're right. We're here to consult you on lifting safety.
Oh, Eddie, why don't you give her some advice?
Don't be kidding! I know very little. It's better to consult an expert like you.
Okay, since you are so sincere, I will teach you. Eddie, I think you have some video footage.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we use it as teaching material?
Okay, sure.
Lifting operations involve three kinds of personnel, namely the crane operator, the slinger, and the signaller. The crane operator is responsible for operating the crane, the slinger for attaching and detaching the load to and from the crane, and monitoring the conditions of the lifting operation to ensure safety. The signaller is responsible for relaying signals from the slinger to the crane operator. The slinger often acts as a signaller too. During a lifting operation, only one signaller shall communicate with the crane operator to avoid confusion. If vision is obstructed and the operator cannot see the signals of the signaller, they can communicate by other means, such as wireless walkie-talkies or mobile phones. A construction site usually has a designated lifting zone, which prohibits trespassing. All lifting operations have to be carried out in the zone. Lifting routes have to be planned beforehand to avoid passing over any person or building which may cause danger. Before using the tower and mobile crane, ensure that the overload indicator is installed to monitor the weight of the load. The crane operator should move slowly in the process to ensure stability of the load. Watch out for the height of the jib and the distance of the hook. When no one is operating, the crane's trolley must be positioned at the minimum operation radius, and the hook raised to its highest position. An anemograph has to be installed on a tower crane. The wind speed must be noted. During typhoons, the jib should be set to the typhoon's leeward with the brake release allowing the jib to swing freely. Mobile crane is commonly used in lifting operations. It should only be operated on firm and level ground that can support the weight of the crane and loads. Before lifting, the outriggers should be fully extended to ensure their stability on the ground. When the soil is loose, use firmer and larger wooden planks to distribute the load. This will enhance the stability of the crane. Crawler-mounted cranes are suitable for lifting operations on unstable ground. As with other cranes, they have to be kept at a distance of at least 600 mm from fences, hoarding and any other static objects during lifting work. The lifting zone should be clear of other people. A crane must be fitted with a safety switch that limits the boom angle. The height of lifting must not be too close to the top of the boom. The safety switch also restricts the crane's moving distance and prevents its trolley from moving too close to the switch on the rear and the mast. Avoid working on the slope, which will affect the safe working load and operation radius of the crane. If the boom length and angles are not adjusted, the crane may tip over backwards when it moves uphill, and may tip over forward when it moves downhill. During the lifting operation, never swing or stop the crane abruptly. Load should not be dragged on the ground. Move the load at a safe speed, and when the load is close to the destination, the speed should be slowed down.
Dad, you've taught me this part. Let me do the following. When lifting different kinds of objects, we have to select the right lifting gear. Different lifting gears have different features to facilitate our work. However, correct usage is as important as making the right choice. Karen, I've told you about the safety of wire rope slings. We often connect wire rope slings with cable clips. We have to ensure that the installation is done correctly. On each wire rope sling, there must be a minimum of 3 cable clips. The direction of installation must be correct. The distance between the cable clips must be the same. Each wire rope sling is equipped with a thimble to protect it from wear and tear. This is the wrong connection method. This is the correct connection method. Chain slings are made up of chain rings. If problems arise in any section, the entire chain becomes unsafe. So whenever possible, select a wire rope sling for lifting. Other commonly used lifting gears include shackles and eye bolts. Shackles are for connecting wire rope slings and hooks. If a shackle pin is damaged, never replace it with a bolt. When using an eye bolt, beware that the hook should not be directly fixed onto it. Eye bolts are mainly classified into plain eye bolts and shoulder type eye bolts. Plain eye bolts only apply to vertical lifting. When using the shoulder type eye bolts, the angle of lifting should not be less than 45 degrees. Otherwise, the resulting horizontal pull will break the eye bolt. During lifting work, we have to be aware that the angle between 2 wire rope slings does not exceed 90 degrees. Otherwise, the tension on the wire rope sling will increase and break the wire rope sling. Hooks are a vital part of lifting gear. There's a variety of them to cater to different lifting purposes. We have to choose the right hook according to the requirement of the work. Do not remove nor tie the safety latches on the hook. Maintain the hook in a vertical position. If the hook is eccentrically loaded, the safe working load will be reduced. If the hook is to be used with a ring, the inner diameter of the ring must be long enough to let the hook through.
Eddie, you are right. Some special lifting gears are used to lift special loads. Spreader is used to lift physically long loads. Chain mesh slings and fiber slings are used to lift special materials like cylinder and prefabricated pipes. Lifting appliances and gears should be regularly inspected. There's a lot of lifting gears on construction sites and in big warehouses. To indicate whether the inspection has expired, the industry used a color code system. Different colors represent the 4 quarters of the year when the lifting gear is inspected. Gears that have been inspected will be sprayed with the color representing the season. For example, the color of the quarter from April to June is yellow.
Thanks so much for your help today. Without your help, I'll never know that there's so much to learn about lifting safety.
You should come visit me more often.
Achoo! Excuse me.
Eddie, are you alright?
I think I have a temperature.
You are quite sick with a severe temperature.
So you better have some rest.
You haven't finished your case yet. I still have to go with you to collect information tomorrow.
You can go by yourself. Are you confident enough?
I can't.
I've taught you so much. You should be able to manage. Have more confidence in yourself.
Okay, I can manage it. We are almost done. We should have enough information. Let's go back to the office and sort them out.
Karen. You've made a vast improvement. Your investigative report is well done. The problem is with the hook. As the safety latch of the hook was broken during the lifting operation, the load collided with a steel frame and caused the load to slip through the hook and fall onto the ground. That led to the accident. Well done, Karen. Good job.
Thanks to
Thanks to Karen's hard work.
Just a moment, David. Let me introduce my teacher to you. I got most of my knowledge on safe lifting from my teacher. I have to go. I'm having lunch with my teacher. Talk to you later.
Actually, lifting operation is not as dangerous as one imagines. The criteria is to take all necessary safety measures. Accident can thus be avoided.
Let's go, teacher.
Okay?
Bye-bye. That's why I said he's an expert.
He's really a super expert on lifting.